I recently listened to a Dave Ramsey call that really hit home because I'm personally working with a close relative in almost the exact same situation. This caller, which we're going to get into in just a second, he had saved $1.7 million. He did everything right, and yet he's terrified to spend a dime. Now, if you worry that you're going to reach retirement and still feel like this, still feel trapped, fear, scarcity, then this video can really help you. Because today I'm going to break down why this happens, the mindset shifts that you're going to need, and how you can actually start building real freedom so you don't end up with this huge nest egg and a lifetime of regrets. And before we dive in, know this: everything that I've done to build freedom, cash flow, free time, and passive income, comes back to one simple framework: the 7 WOW or work optional wealth steps. It's the system that you can use to make work optional, not just someday, but sooner. You can download the full guide for free using the link below this video. And now let's get into the call.
Kevin is with us in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hi, Dave. I appreciate you taking my call.
Sure.
My question, I think, is a little more psychological than it is financial. I just thought that maybe you could give me some wisdom that might help me change my way of thinking. But I've been a saver just all my life. I've never carried debt other than a mortgage and a car. And my wife retired last year, and I'm about 14 months away. I'll be 66 in 14 months. And it's just that being a saver all my life, I've worked construction, so there's been times that savings has come down, back and forth, up and down. Mm-hmm. But the last 14 years has been really good. Mm-hmm. And we're in good shape. And I'm not worried about running out of money or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's just there's something in my head about seeing those savings going the other direction. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like I'm going to have to learn how to spend money. Mm-hmm. And it seems like the closer I get to retirement, the more it bothers me.
No, I can appreciate that.
My wife and I, if I retire at 66, we'll bring in about $96,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know if we'll ever even touch our principal unless it becomes a medical. There are medical issues with both of us, so mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to outlive our money mm-hmm. by any means. Mm-hmm. And it's like I said, other than maybe traveling mm-hmm. or medical, mm-hmm. I don't know that we'll ever even have to touch that principal.
Now, the house and the car are paid for now?
No, the house, we just bought a house 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. We owe about $230,000.
And how much do you have in your nest egg?
It's about $1.7 million.
Good for you. Way to go, Kevin.
And
congratulations.
Well, I appreciate that.
And you said you worked construction?
Yes, sir.
What'd you do in the construction business?
I'm electrical.
Okay. So you're an electrician your whole life?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does your wife work outside the home, or did she?
She did.
What did she do?
She was in the insurance business, and she's done really well. I mean, she's helped big time. She actually has more saved than I do, but mm-hmm. she always maxed out her 401 ever since we first met. Mm-hmm. She was actually putting a little less into that. I kind of talked her into going full bore, so yeah. she's done it ever since.
And you guys, when you got married, you started with nothing?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been married?
35 years.
Okay.
35
years. You are the classic case study of America's millionaires.
Well,
you don't feel like a millionaire, do you?
Oh, no.
So I want to pause this right here because if I started off listening to Dave Ramsey and I was on this track too. You may be on it. You may not even know who Dave Ramsey is, but he's really big about getting completely debt-free, following the 7 baby steps. He actually references several books. One of them is like The Millionaire Next Door, to where you work your entire life, put everything in a 401k, and then you retire a millionaire. So 65 years old, you're a millionaire. And then I just want you to know or realize, here's one thing that could happen to you that you may not even think about. It's, let's say for me, getting out of dental school, I'm 25, 26 years old. I'm not even thinking about when I'm 65. And once I get there, I'm going to be scared to spending my money because I've been a saver my whole life. So I think this is a really good point, especially if you're this type of person. And we'll listen to a little bit more of it, and then I'll talk about some different things at the end.
I don't know.
You're almost a multi-millionaire.
To me, that guy that wrote that book like that, there's a difference between having $1 million and somebody that can live like a millionaire, because, we've spent our whole life accumulating it.
Well, I think the difference is we have the idea that a millionaire can buy anything they want anytime they want, and the truth is mathematically they can't.
Right.
And so when we say living like a millionaire, when guys like you and me say that, what we mean is super rich people. But really, $2 million is rich, but it's not super rich.
Right.
But it feels good. You've done a great job. You're an inspiration to people listening right now. You know that.
Well, it's like I said, it's like I'm going to have to learn how to spend money.
Yep, you are. You've spent 66 years building up one muscle. Your saving muscle.
Yes, sir.
And so I would recommend a couple of things. One is that you put your toe in the water and you make yourself, by setting a written goal, you and your wife, that we are going to spend X on fun. And I don't care how much it is. But let me just tell you this, okay? Let me ask you this. If you spent, how much money would you spend on a cruise if you were going to take your wife on a nice cruise
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right there, and basically, if you want to keep watching it, you can. But he just basically tells him, they typically spend $3,000 on a cheap cruise, and he tells him to spend like $7,000 or $8,000 to really, and it's not so much just to start spending a bunch of money, but to get used to spending his money. And then he had a particular tool that he wanted that he typically never spent a lot of money on, and it's $3,000. So again, he's getting him to learn that. So let's talk a little bit more about this now. So as I mentioned earlier, listening to that, it really hits home for me. And I want you to think about this for a second, because Kevin's story, it really isn't unique. In fact, it's the reality for so many people who are going through life, doing everything right, work hard, save, avoid debt, and they still, when they get to retirement, they still feeling anxious about spending when it's what? When it's really finally time to enjoy life. Maybe you're watching this and you're realizing, well, I'm on the exact same path. You're saving, you're investing, you're following all the rules, but deep down you're worried that you're never really going to feel truly free to enjoy what you spent a lifetime to build. So let's break down why this happens, and more importantly, how you can avoid ending up in the same situation. First, this story matters because it's not just about that one caller. It's about anybody out there who's just spent years in school, medical school, dental school, law school, or just school in general. You've gotten out, you've done well, you've worked hard, you've worked long hours, you've sacrificed your time with family to what? To build a successful career. Because of that, you've got a great income, you've paid off debt, you've saved diligently, just like you were told to do, right? I know, because I was on that exact same path as a dentist, as a periodontist. Again, I followed his advice. I completed all the Dave Ramsey baby steps, paid off $300,000 student loan debt, and got to the point where we were completely debt free. That was it. I thought I finally made it at like 37, 38 years of age. But then 10 years ago, I injured my hand while snow skiing. And that's what made me realize, Jeff, you're really not free at all. Because if I couldn't work, if I couldn't use my hands, my income stopped. So did my lifestyle. So here's the reality. If your entire plan is built around saving and hoping it'll be enough, you could end up in the same spot as that caller, afraid to spend, worried about running out of money, and missing out on the freedom that you've worked so hard to get to. Okay? So, and again, this is especially true for people in demanding high-stress careers. You're used to being in control, right? You're used to being the one to make smart decisions and always planning for the future. But when it comes to enjoying your money, that same discipline can turn into what? Anxiety and hesitation. So let's break down what's really going on here and how you can shift this, your mindset and your strategy, to actually enjoy your life and the freedom. So here's what I realized after my own wake-up call. Debt-free, following Dave Ramsey's plan, debt-free is a great milestone, but it's not the same as being truly free. Debt-free is not truly free. The real problem isn't just about money. It's about how we, and just like this caller, how you think about money. Most of us spend our entire careers, as Dave mentioned, flexing our one muscle, saving muscle. We're saving, we're investing, we're doing all that. And we get really good at that. We get really good at building up our accounts. We're constantly watching it. We're looking at the stock market, but we never actually learn how to actually enjoy what we built and how to make our money work for us. So even with a big nest egg, the guy had like 1.7 million. Maybe you have a big nest egg, okay? It's really easy to feel anxious about spending because, again, you spent your whole life saving. Because look, you're always looking for the next safety net when you get to this point. The next, well, just in case of this, I'm going to keep working, I'm going to keep saving. So you're afraid to touch your savings. Why? Because you're always worried that you're going to run out. You never feel fully free to enjoy the life that you're working for. But here's the good news. You can change this. Guess what it starts with? It starts with a mindset shift from focusing only on saving and accumulation, because everybody's always in the accumulating mode, to building multiple passive income streams that pay you every month or pay you every quarterly. But here's the most important thing. That money, it pays you whether you work or not. Right now, you probably don't have that. But the passive income, that's what actually finally set me free. It's what I want it to do for you too. So you're probably thinking, well, Jeff, how do I make that shift? Well, it starts by realizing that your goal isn't just like probably what your goal is now, and just like that caller, just to build a big pile of money, okay? Think about right now how you've been operating. Is that what you've been doing? Because it was until I started this mindset shift. Okay, your goal isn't just to build a big pile of money, it's to create income streams that pay you, again, whether you're working or not. Think of it this way. If you only save and invest for someday, you're always going to be worried about it running out. But if you start building cash flow now, you can actually enjoy your money and your life without living in fear. This is what changed everything for me. So instead of just focusing on my account balance, I started asking, well, how much income can my investments produce for me right now? That's when I began investing in things like real estate syndications, RV parks, mobile home parks, things that send me checks every quarter, every month, not when I'm 65. I took a lot of our growth mutual funds, Vanguard index funds that have been compounding for 15, 20, 25 years, and shifted them more into an income funds that are paying me now. They're depositing, they're higher dividends paying. They deposit money into our account now. And you don't have to sell off anything. You can go out and you can buy businesses out there that generate income without needing your daily involvement. Here's the thing, when you have money coming in month after month, spending doesn't feel scary. You're not draining your nest egg or the fear of draining it like that caller. You're living off the cash flow your investments are producing for you now. This is the difference, remember, between being debt-free and being truly free. So how do you start building these income streams? You're probably thinking, well, thing is, you just take action. Just do something. Start small, but start now. You don't need a ton of money to begin. You could even start with like $100 a month. Invested in the right assets, you can start your journey toward work optional wealth. I don't care how old you are. The key is to get started and then start letting your cash flow snowball over time. Step 2 is reinvest your cash flow. So when you start earning passive income, the first passive income that I started was $333.33 a month. Not a lot of money, but I started to reinvest that. And when you start doing that, whether again it's from real estate or dividends or whatever, don't spend it. Reinvest it to buy more what? Income producing assets. This is how you start to build what I call an income factory that doesn't rely on you. Step 3 is to start to diversify your income streams. Again, don't rely just on one source. Mix in some real estate, mix in some income or dividend paying stocks or ETFs or things like that, or again, other passive income streams, whatever you're interested in. It doesn't matter, because the more of these, quote, factories that you have working for you, the more secure that you're going to feel. And step 4, focus on replacing expenses, not just what you probably be doing, it's just focusing on growing your savings. Okay, that's a mindset shift right there. So set a goal to start to cover your monthly expenses with passive income instead of what the advisors tell you. Okay, what do they tell you? You need 2 million, you need 4 million, you need 6 million, whatever. So you're like, oh, well, that's a ways off, I'm gonna have to work forever. No, you just replace your expenses now. Now when your investments pay your bills, work becomes a choice, not a necessity. So if you're watching this and you're realizing that you were on the same path as Kevin on that call, or as I was, don't wait until you're burned out or forced to stop working. Start building your freedom now. Focus on creating income streams that, again, make work optional so you can enjoy your life, your health, and your money while you still have them. Now, if you want to learn how to get started with these passive income streams, I have something just for you in this next video.